Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, pre-trip inspection and driver responsibility. A commercial motor vehicle driver is responsible to make sure that all vehicles that is used is in good, safe operating condition and good working order. So basically what that means is if you drive a commercial motor vehicle and you're a CDL driver, you're responsible to do a pre-trip on that truck at all times.
Sorry.
And basically it's a pre-trip inspection can take anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour to complete a total inspection. A lot of companies, Thermo a lot of companies say, oh, 15, 30 minutes. You need to take as much time as you need to make sure your truck is ready to be in good working condition. I suggest in doing my trainings, you do at least 30 minutes. Some people, when you're seasoned and you've done it a while and you know your truck, some people do 15 minutes, but I suggest you do between 15 to 30 minutes to an hour to complete an inspection. A pre-trip should be completed before the operation of a vehicle, beginning of a driver's shift, or a new load or pickup. So that means wake up in the morning, you get to your truck, you should do a pre-trip right away. That should be the first thing. Once you get in the truck, get your paperwork out, get everything together, do your pre-trip, walk around the truck, check everything. Anytime you pick up a new load, you should do a walk around and check your truck. I know guys that drop trailers or drop dump truck loads and they just jump back in the truck and leave and get another load. Well, how you know you didn't get a rock caught in there, a busted tire, a line, some gravel fell on the line or something and pulled it out. This way, it can help you with preventing more breakdowns, keep you doing more loads. So it's very important that you do a pre-trip inspection and your responsibility as a commercial motor vehicle driver that you do a pre-trip. Reasons why it's important. First one is the law. Federal Motor Carrier regulates that you do a pre-trip. That's one of the regulations. It's required that you document it and you do it. And it's safe because it determines any malfunctions. I mean, your truck been sitting all night, you did a lot of work the next day, you want to have it ready to go in the morning. So you need to walk around and do a pre-trip. And it cuts cost on repairs and breakdowns because if you find something that's minor and get it fixed, it won't turn into a major issue later on. And it helps with the reputation of the company. You don't want to go to one dump truck sites and pull up every day and, oh, one of my trucks down today, and you're supposed to have 5 trucks on the job, and you only got 3 because you haven't taken care of the maintenance, you haven't kept up with the different responsibilities of the truck. So these are 4 things that I think you should keep key to why it's important for these inspections. Number 1 is the law. Number 2 is keeping you safe from any malfunctions, and it cuts costs on repairs because when you get in these trucks, you're already gonna have to repair your truck and do seasonal and monthly and weekly maintenance. So you really don't want no major breakdowns because you cut the corners on doing your pre-trip, post-trip. And it has a reputation of the company. You have opportunities to keep working and keep getting more bids because the owner of the company, owner of the place you're getting to work from says, oh, they always had their trucks to tip-top condition. Let's keep them coming back. So these are 4 things I think you should keep to you to understand about a pre-trip and responsibilities and why it's important. The next slide. So the pre-trip regulation from the Federal Motor Carrier is 3961.313. That's a manual that the Federal Motor Carrier has that discusses all the different regulations, any kind of areas in all different situations. They discuss it and everything. But a pre-trip inspection is before operating the vehicle, the driver must inspect the vehicle and be satisfied that it is in safe operating condition. If the last vehicle report notes any deficiencies, the driver must review and sign and to acknowledge and certify that the required repairs were made. So the example is if you're doing a walk around your truck and you notice the brake line is out or a light is out, you're doing your pre-trip. It's your duty before you leave there to get that fixed and note it on your pre-trip report. You don't just get in the truck and keep going, oh, I'll fix the light later, because that can lead down the road to more fines and different things. And, you know, Federal Motor Carry, they do have fines for not doing the pre-trip, not doing your DVR. Some of the fines for not doing the pre-trip can range between $500 to $1,000. And not doing your inspection report, the DVIR, which we'll talk about later, they can range from $1,000 to $2,500. And neglecting to do safety repairs, it can range up to $12,000 in fines. And those are estimates by depending on the severity of them. They're not 100. You're not guaranteed you right away will get a fine, but it is possible that you get a fine for continued behavior of not doing your pre-trip and lying and neglecting to do the repairs or falsifying DVRs. Those can be very steep fines. And I have seen fines given doing audits for different companies over the years. So this is very serious and something very that needs to be done. And I've had several times working where accidents have happened, and the first thing the lawyer asks for is, can I see your logbook? Can I see the pre-trip inspection to make sure there weren't any malfunctions that caused the accident? So this is very serious. It could cause a lot of liabilities for your company and you personally. So please make sure you do it. Driver vehicle inspection report, DVIRs. Per 49 CFR 39.61, drivers of passenger carrying and non-passenger carriers must inspect vehicles and prepare and sign a written report at the completion of each work day's work and each vehicle operated. So basically, DVIR is a formal document that confirms that you completed your commercial vehicle, and they can be done on different ways. Some people do paper ones, some people do them on the ELD. It just depends on what your company allows and what the regulations allow you for the type of vehicle you have. There are different settings and different ways you can do it. We can go to the next slide. What is a pre-trip inspection? A pre-trip inspection is a thorough check of the truck. It's major systems to maintain safety on the road. Inspections need to occur before the start of a driver's shift and at least every 24 hours while on the road. Pre-trip inspection needs to be done and performed by the driver while on duty, but before the driving starts. So just say you have a truck and you have two drivers. One may do a night shift, you do a day shift. Just because the driver at the end of the night did a post-trip check inspection doesn't mean you just jump in the truck. Oh, I read this report, everything looked good. How do you know your owner might have did some maintenance work on it overnight? It could have had damage from weather or something. So it's your responsibility before you do your route that you check the truck and do a pre-trip inspection. I want to pause right here and see if anybody had any questions or any comments.
If you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll get to them as we see them.
Okay, we can go to the next slide.
Right.
Areas to check for a pre-trip inspection procedure. And the first area is the vehicle overview. That's basically just walking around, looking at the outer parts of the vehicle, just checking the overview, checking your last vehicle inspection report. So just say it's Friday, you're getting off, you do your last check, you go home, you park your truck, you come back the Monday. First thing you should do is just overview your vehicle, look at everything, make sure all your paperwork's up to date, look around, and then review your last vehicle inspection report. So see what you wrote Friday to make sure there was nothing that was pending that you need to get fixed or you left in the shop that needed to be fixed, and confirm that it's been fixed. Check your engine compartment. That basically pull the engine up, pull the hood up, look under the engine, look around it, make sure nothing's leaking, make sure nothing is wasted on the engine, make sure everything was clean, no debris is there. Start your engine and inspect inside the cab. So always inspect inside your truck. Make sure your air brakes work. Make sure nothing's protruding or stopping your brake from pressing on the brake pedal. Make sure your truck is clean. You know, that can be a violation, not keeping your truck clean and safe. You know, having stuff all on the floor that could cause you to impact you stopping or having an accident or something. Turn off the engine and check lights. Do a walk around inspection. And that means walk around your inspection. You know, people say go right to left, left to right. Whatever's comfortable and gets the job done is really based on how you feel about doing it. You know, as long as you do a thorough check and you check everything that's on those checklists, check your signal lights. This is a big one. You know, if you have a partner or somebody out there in the area, check your lights or pull behind somewhere where you can look in the back, like a wall or something, and see your lights come on and make sure they're working. Start the engine and check and listen to it. And some guys get up under the truck. If you ever do get up under the truck, check the brakes and everything. Make sure you put the chocks behind it so the truck won't roll. You know, I remember once I was doing an inspection and the guy air brakes were messed up and the truck started rolling with the chocks. And I shot up from up under it from doing an inspection. So make sure you do safety precautions too when you do your pre-trip and post-trip. You can go to the next slide. What is a post-trip inspection? Okay, drivers are required to complete a daily written post-trip inspection report at the end of each day driving. This inspection report must be identify the vehicle and list any defects or deficiencies discovered or reported to the driver, which could affect the safety of operation of the vehicle and result in a mechanical breakdown. The motor carrier or its agent must certify that any listed defect or deficiency has been repaired or that immediate repair is unnecessary. So just say you measure your tires and after you get off work and you tell your boss, hey, I need some new tires soon. Document that and say, hey, I need new tires. I checked it. These are the measurements. They're not ready yet, but they're almost at the point where they need to be repaired. You know, but if you have a brake line or you have something in between the tire wells or cracks in the tires or leaking oil, stuff like that, you need to get repaired immediately. You don't, once you park that truck, that needs to be on the list before you move it again. It needs to be repaired and documented because falsifying the DVR report can lead to a fine during an audit or something when Federal Motor questions it or the auditor questions, why didn't you fix this repair? Where's proof? And they will ask you for proof where you fixed it. So you need to document a receipt and everything when you got it fixed, who fixed it, and where. You go to the next slide. So pre-trip, post-trip inspection checklist. This is an example of the way you check different things. You can start either way you go, parking brakes, service brakes, tires, rims, suspension, steering system, fluid levels, your belt and your hose, electrical airlines, lights, reflectors, and signals. Those are the different areas that you also want to check. You also want to check your coupling devices, your windshield wipers, check all your mirrors, make sure there's nothing, they're clean, your windshield is clean. Make sure your windshield is not cracked. I mean, you can get a violation for the windshield not being cracked, your wipers not worked. Also, you can get a violation for having caked up windshield wiper fluid in your windshield wiper where the water comes, where the cleaner comes out. Make sure that is clean. Seat belts, make sure your seat belts are operational and you have them on. Your gauges, air brake warning system, make sure that works. Make sure you have your emergency kit. You would be surprised how many people get violations for not having their fire extinguisher secured, not having triangles. These are things you should check once you get in your truck. Make sure and don't use your fire extinguisher as a step stool or you put your foot on it. A lot of guys will put their foot on it and knock the bracket loose. Those are violations that DOT Federal Motor Carrier will write on you. So make sure all your emergency equipment is up to date. Make sure you have a vest. Make sure you have the triangles. Make sure you have your fire extinguisher. Those are little violations that are tedious, but they will write them. And they're very important to you have because when you need it, you want it to be operational. Also have all applicable paperwork done. Have all your BOLs, all your paperwork together, your insurance paperwork, all this, because if you get inspected, they're going to ask you for all this paperwork. So those are things that you should check every time you get in a truck, especially if you share a truck with somebody. If somebody you have duties you may have in the morning, they have in the evening. You want to make sure when you get back in the truck, everything's how you like it. Everything's together. But check all those things. Don't slack up and just because I've been driving 20 years, I don't need to do it. I know how everything looks. Do this and take pride in doing it. We can go to the next slide. This is another example of a pre-trip, how some people are taught to do it. One thing about it is when you do a pre-trip, post-trip, do not, I always suggested when I was trained, never walk like straight to the truck. Always walk in the circular motion because you're able to see more things when you do it that way instead of just walking, turning corner, going straight down the truck. You can't see nothing. You can't look up under. If you go at an angle in a circular motion, you can actually see what's under the truck. You can see if something's hanging. You can see if you see stuff in the tires. You can see leaks and stuff. So that's an example of another way you can do it. Like I said, there's no wrong or right way to do a pre-trip or post-trip. You do what's best for you, but make sure you're meeting all the requirements that are required by the federal motor carrier. And we can go to the next slide. Where to document the inspections? There's several ways you can document. Some people use logbook paper. I know some dump trucks don't use ELDs. They have logbooks. They have a pre-trip form. You can buy them at JJ Keller at the local truck stop. It says driver vehicle inspection report. I remember we used to use those all the time when I was a DOT officer. They would turn those in and we would check them when we did audits, pulled over for level 1, level 2, level 3 inspections. We would look at those. Now you can do it on your ELD and report it. If I had a company, new drivers, first thing I would do the first couple of months, I would make the drivers tape them doing it, turning in, recording and doing the pre-trip and post-trip just to get them in a pattern of doing it. Because you don't want to put a brand new truck out there and a couple of months later is in the shop because it hadn't been checked thoroughly. So record them doing it. Say, hey, I need to record them doing your pre-trip every morning just to get them in a pattern and a habit of doing it. You also can do logbook paper. You can do a digital app. There are several TMS programs and digital apps that you can use for your pre-trip, post-trip that you can upload it and send it in and save it on the computer. And then your ELD allows you to do it if you have an electronic login device, which all trucks are required to have. I think after a certain date, they're all required to have ELDs, depending on, and there are some exemptions where you don't have, and that just depends on your certain circumstance. But there are some exemptions of not having ELD, but I suggest everybody does have an ELD and cameras in their truck for, protection and to keep track of your fleet. Know where your fleet is, know where your drivers are, know they're doing what they need to do to be responsible while they're in the truck. And you can keep a pattern and learn patterns of how they drive, what areas they need to work on and where they're at all times. And you can also do the DVIR and the pre-trip on the ELD version. Go to the next slide. We talked about this earlier about the federal motor carrier regulation violations and fines. Driver, just want to repeat it, driver must perform pre-trip inspections and post-trip inspections as required by the federal motor carrier safety regulations. Failure to properly conduct these inspections can take corrective action when needed, may lead to CSA violations, fines, or vehicles being declared out of service. If your vehicle is ever declared out of service, it's your responsibility to get it fixed and signed off before you get back on the road. And these fines are federal motor carrier takes these violations very serious, and it can also affect your insurance, affect you getting work and everything. So take this serious, take the CSA violations. If you get a violation, make a corrective action not to let it happen again. Failing to perform pre-trip inspections is a top violation with the Federal Motor Carrier and Safety Administration regulations. So it's a very popular, and one of the top violations is not doing a pre-trip inspection. They will write you a warning and they'll go towards your DOT number, and it possibly can lead to fines. So take this serious. and it's very important to do. It helps you in the long run. It helps your truck stay up and running for long periods of time, and also it helps your driver have a pattern of keeping safe and keeping the other people on the road safe. So that's all I have for the presentation. We have another part that Malcolm will get started. If anybody has any questions, please let me know.
Any questions? Any questions? Thank you, Jonathan.
Problem.
Okay, so guys, I know we were supposed to have a live pre-trip today, but the weather was a little iffy and you just didn't want to chance it. So what we did was we recorded a video for you guys to see what a proper pre-trip and the things you should actually look for. What we wanted to give you within this was to see what you're looking at. If you have never been inside of a truck or been around a truck or seen a dump truck, we wanted you to actually be able to identify what parts should be checked in the pre-trip. As Jonathan alluded to, certain parts that you just have to look at, you have to check. We wanted you to be able to identify those parts if you have no information or no knowledge of being in a truck or seeing a truck. So we'll get this video up shortly. And if you register on this webinar, you will receive this video in your email as well, just to see what a pre-trip is. So yeah, we want to do the live weather so we had a backup plan. Let's record a video just in case, and it worked out pretty well. So glad you guys still, were able to come, and we'll still get this video to you, and we'll show it live here just shortly. So all right, guys, welcome back. As we promised you guys, we will have a pre-trip video showing you guys how to do a proper pre-trip, and so you can identify the different parts, what they look like, what you should be looking for, what they should be looking for. This is on a Mack Granite truck. So some things may look different depending on your truck and what you have, but it's all the same when you get to just hear the language and what to look for and to see, okay, this is what air filter looks like. This is what the coolant looks like. So thank you guys again for coming and enjoy this video.
Hi, dump truck community. My name is Marcus Smith here with the National Dump Truck Association. Here at the National Dump Truck Association, I'm the operations advisor. Please dive with us as we go and do a pre-trip inspection on a dump truck. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to start doing our pre-trip inspection from underneath the hood. I like to start off with checking my oil first. So you see I already have my rag here. We're going to go here, pull this dipstick out. You're going to wipe your dipstick clean. Put your dipstick back in.
Okay. Oh.
Pull your dipstick back out and check your oil level. As you can see, the oil is at its full line. The oil is still pretty clean. It's not thick. You don't want it all thick and sluggish. That'll clog up your engine. And there you have it. And next, we're going to check our coolant. Always be sure to check your coolant while the truck is cold. You never want to check your coolant while the truck is hot. In the event that you have to check your coolant while the truck is hot, make sure you use this little glass window right here, and you can look in and check your coolant to see if it's coolant inside there. You want to make sure that your coolant is at the right limits. Next, you're going to want to check your belts. Your belts are located right here in the front of the truck. You're going to make sure that they're not worn or frayed. You want to make sure that they have proper tension on all devices that they're on.
Here we have your leaf springs. You should make sure that your leaf springs are not cracked or none have slid. This can be a very costly repair to your suspension in the event that any have shifted or cracked. Please make sure you check them periodically.
And also check your slack adjusters.
Here, ladies and gentlemen, you have your slack adjusters. Your slack adjusters are very critical to the brakes engaging. You definitely want to make sure that you have 2 inches in between your slack adjusters and make sure they're lubricated. If your slack adjuster is out of adjustment, that means you can have problems with your braking system.
Next, you're going to want to make sure you check your U-joints. This is a U-joint right here. You want to make sure that nothing is lodged in between this U-joint. Also, you're going to want to check your U-bolts right here. Your U-bolts are attached to your leaf springs. Make sure that you check your leaf springs as well and make sure that none have shifted or cracked. You're gonna wanna check your tie rods. One of the most important parts to me are the tires. Making sure that your tires are properly inflated is a must. You don't want your tires to be underflated or overflated. I personally like to have my tires between 90 to 100 PSI, but when in doubt, check right here for the manufacturer specification for how much PSI that your tire can handle. Also, you're gonna wanna make sure that your tire tread is 432. In the rear, it's 232. For your steer tires, 432. For your drive tires, 232. Now we'll be checking our power steering fluid. Our power steering fluid is just like our oil with a dipstick. We're gonna pull it out its reservoir, wipe it clean, stick it back into its reservoir, check the limit. Here we see it's at its full limit. There you have it. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to check our air filter. Your air filter is located inside this housing located right here. You're going to want to unlock these latches and pull your air filter out. Your air filter is going to be very dusty due to being on job sites and there's a lot of dust in the field. So periodically you're going to want to check this air filter, pull it out, and I use a hose inside my truck to blow it out, or I kind of just beat it on the ground and get as much of the dust and dirt and debris out of it as I can. Next, you're going to want to check your windshield wiper reservoir. It's right here. This is where you put your windshield fluid. Make sure that it's at its proper limit. Please make sure to check all lights on your vehicle. This includes your low beam headlights, your high beam headlights, your signal lights, your brake lights, and that is all. Always make sure to check your tarp system. This is your tarp system right here. It extends from the front of your cab to the back. What it does is it covers your load to keep your load secure while you're driving. Also, make sure that your dump bed goes up and down. You definitely don't want to get loaded and then get to the dump site and then your bed can't go up and you have a load of rock on the back that you can't get rid of. While checking the bed, you're going to want to make sure that you're checking your latches. Your latches are right here. You have two latches, one on this side and one on the other. Please make sure that they are latched properly before heading to the job site.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for coming to this webinar. Hope you enjoyed this webinar. We will get this video in your email that you can keep, that you can use to see anytime you need to do a pre-trip. If there's something you may not be familiar with, go back and check this video showing you what everything looks like, the latches from checking up under the hood, checking the engine, checking all the different parts, the belts, the tie rods, the leaf springs, making sure you're checking all of these things and making sure your tires are inflated. Please do not skip out on your pre-trip. Your pre-trip is very important, as Jonathan King has stated. I've had plenty of people that I know that have, been in some situations with pre-trip, been put out of service. Some, one guy knows, it's a federal time, is, in trouble with the law. But please do your pre-trip. It is very important. It will save your company. It will save you money. It will save you time, and it will keep you compliant. Mr. Jonathan King stated earlier, you do not want to lose money just from not doing simple checks. It just doesn't make sense when you can do them, and making sure that you're teaching your drivers how to properly do a pre-check. That will keep your company safe, that will keep your insurance premiums low, and it will keep your company in business. So any lasting words, Mr. Jonathan King, what you would like to say?
Appreciate y'all's coming today to the webinar. And if you have any questions or anything, just let us know. We'll be happy to help you, and just stay safe out there. And, it's very important. The little small things always matter in trucking.
And
So,
one thing we're doing, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I appreciate y'all coming. And again, if you have any questions or anything, just let us know and we'll be happy to answer them and be in touch with you.
The one thing we're doing too, if you're new to learning about National Dump Truck Association, if you've seen anything about us and, that brought you to this webinar. We're doing free consultations just to, see where you're at in your journey. If you need help, if you need any resources, you need any opportunities, whatever that may be, we're doing free consultations. I'll put my email in the chat. You can grab my email, send me an email, let me know. I'll send you a calendar invite and you can hop on my calendar. I'll do a free consultation with you. And we can just talk and see where you're at in your journey and get you on the right path and see if NDTA is the right fit for you. So again, check the chat for my email. If it's something you're interested in, please go ahead and send me an email. We'll get you a calendar link and you can hop on the calendar and we can start this process. So again, thank you guys for coming out. We do these every Thursday. Sometimes, things happen. We may not do it every, but we try to be constant with these webinars, is putting things in front of you guys to help you with your business and help you with your company. If you're a newbie just getting into it or you're a seasoned vet, these webinars can help anybody. So again, thank you for coming and hope to see you next Thursday or hope to see you become a member soon. So I'll give you time to get my email before we log off. So that's Malcolm at thenDTA.org. Again, Malcolm, MALCOLM at THENDTA.org. Thank you. No, thank you, Miss Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for coming. All right. So I wish you guys have the good rest of your day. And most times these webinars are at 12. We want to move it to 11 this time to give enough time. We thought it was going to be a little longer. We just didn't know, but actually a great time and a nice 50-minute webinar. You got some education. You got to see a pre-trip. You're going to get this in your email as well. So I think this was a great 11 o'clock webinar. So we don't have any more questions, any more comments. Talk to you guys later.